Everybody's looking so good tonight.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This meeting is being held remotely as a meeting with a quorum of the public body physically present is not practical or prudent due to the state's declaration of a disaster due to the impacts of COVID-19. I will confirm that all participants can hear me, and all motions need to be passed by a roll call vote. With that, we will rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, with justice for all. Okay. Megan, call the roll, please.
Trustee Messick?
Here.
Trustee Hughes?
Here.
Trustee Kucera?
Here.
Trustee Laudner is absent. Trustee Zora? Here. Trustee Seidel? Here. President DeCipio?
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Julia, did we want to take roll of the residents that may be on the phone, or are we okay?
I have a list of some of the residents, some of the guest residents that are on. I have Jeremy. I have Mike from Murphy's Transmission, Karen Council, and I have Julie. I can see Julie. And then if you are I see Molly Vanderland, she's from our energy consultants firm. Larry Durchek is here as well. And anybody who I have not mentioned who's on the phone, you can say hello and state your name if you're comfortable, if you like. Okay, hearing none, that covers us.
Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our meeting tonight. Thank you for checking in with us, and with that, our first item on the agenda is a presentation by Jessica, the Executive Director of our Community Park District. Jessica, welcome. Thank you for coming and presenting to us tonight. It's all yours.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm good? All right. First, I want to thank you, President DeCipio and the Board of Trustees, for your time tonight. I'd also like to take a moment to extend a message of thanks from our Parks Board of Commissioners and staff to Chief Contoys and the Grange Park Police Department. Recently, Memorial Park has experienced some increased vandalism and damage, and we very much appreciate the responsiveness of the police department and the increased presence around the area. These actions not only protect our community, they also preserve the residents' investment in our beautiful public spaces. So thank you. That's from our staff and from the board. Tonight, I'd like to provide the Village Board of Trustees with some exciting updates in the Park District. Last year, the Community Park District received a $30,000 grant from the National Fitness Campaign for the installation of a state-of-the-art outdoor fitness court in Memorial Park. In addition to that, we recently received a generous pledge from the Grange Park's newest business, Strive for Fitness, that provides an additional $25,000 in support for this project. On Monday, September 14th, the Board of Park Commissioners voted to move forward with a comprehensive project in Memorial Park that will improve the existing tennis courts, renovate the multi-purpose court to include 2 pickleball courts, a redesigned multi-play area, and a brand new fitness court. These projects will all take place within the existing footprint of the tennis court, and the new multi-use court that's the area that's adjacent to the library. We're working with an architectural and engineering team next week, and we look forward to sharing those plans with you. Since last August, our staff has conducted several informal surveys, developed a comprehensive program evaluation system, spoke with residents and health focus groups to gauge the needs of our community. The results from this initial outreach helped to drive the project, but we have additional big plans around the corner. Beginning next month, the Board of Commissioners and the staff will begin comprehensive strategic planning process to thoroughly evaluate all the needs of the community park district. This process is going to engage residents, local leaders, business owners, and more to help prioritize capital projects that touch each and every one of our parks. We look forward to working with you and making the Grange Park a happy and healthy place to live, work, and play. Julia does have a video. I believe it may have been sent out just to show you what the National Fitness Court might look like. But that's what's going on in the Park District.
Jessica, thank you. We're very excited about this whole project that you guys have gotten involved with, and certainly Strive for Fitness for their donation. So good job. Great job.
Thank you.
Are we ready? Ready to play the video? Jessica has the videos to share. Ready?
Julia, I emailed it to you. Do you want me to play the video?
There we
No,
go.
Perfect. Great.
got it. How's that look, Jessica?
It looks great.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and push play.
We're changing the way America thinks about fitness. With 200 fitness courts open, our campaign is growing. From college campuses to city parks and trails, we're bringing free fitness everywhere. And we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch Managis, founder of the National Fitness Campaign. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. We designed for the 21st century. Fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, this works for you. Our goal is to build communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives, so that each day is better than the last. This year, 2,000 certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our National Fitness Campaign. We'll also be hosting training camps on college campuses across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. Connect to partners and sponsors are providing $30,000 grants to 250 qualified cities and colleges in 2020. National Fitness Campaign is a pleasure on its side, and I take no salary. So all the money we raise goes directly to building fitness courts across America. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, building beyond 200 cities and colleges, we're now partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for entertainment. We're bringing fitness courts to the population centers everywhere. We're now committed to raise $150 million to bring the campaign to 1,000 cities and schools by 2021, building the largest fitness movement in the world. Join us, and let's make world-class fitness really.
Jessica, I'm tired. So I'm sorry I missed, where is this going to be placed at Memorial?
Sure. So it's going to go on the existing multi-purpose court. So if you'll picture Memorial Park, we have the 2 tennis courts. Those tennis courts are going to get renovated and improved. And then there's the multi-play area right next door that used to be tennis courts. That space is large enough to install the fitness court, as well as 2 pickleball courts and a smaller multi-purpose area. So we're going to pack a lot of punch in that small space.
Pickleball. Okay.
Pickleball. 2 of them.
I've never played, but I heard it's great. Any of the trustees have any questions for Jessica or any comments? Scott? No, sir. Any comments for Jessica? Okay, Jamie?
Sure, I'll just say that I'm very excited about this, and I feel like with the way things are, everyone's gravitating more towards everything outside. So I think this is a great idea, and it'll be a huge asset to the village. So thanks for getting the grant and for working with Strive for Fitness.
Thank you, Jamie. Amanda? Trustee Seidel, I'm sorry.
I concur with Trustee Zora. I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you for everything.
Thank you, Trustee Seidel. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just another improvement to our community crown jewel, so we very much what Park District Trust staff do. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Trustee Kucera?
Thank you, Mr. President. I concur with Trustee Sheehan and Trustee Zora. I think it's great to see activities coming back to a great town.
Thank you, Trustee Kucera. Trustee Messick, I asked you first. Did you have any comments? I'm sorry.
No, other than said, as the other trustees are saying, it's exciting to see any improvements or extra services for our residents.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. So, Jessica, take back to your board that we are in full support. We are proud and pleased with what you guys are doing over there, and if we can be of any help to you, we're here for you.
Thank you, President DeCipio.
Thank you, Jessica, for your presentation. So we'll go to public participation. Anyone that's on the line care to speak to the board? Nobody. Okay. So we'll go to consent agenda. Megan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes, Village Board meeting, August 25th, 2020. 2, Village Board work session, September 8th, 2020. 3, executive session, September 8th, 2020. B, action, motion to authorize the President and Chairperson of the Finance Committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the Treasurer and Village Clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. C, action, motion to authorize the Village Treasurer and Village Clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next Village Board meeting with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Thank you, Megan. Motion to approve consent agenda is presented.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Megan, call the roll, please.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Kucera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. We'll move on to Village Manager's report. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have just 2 items to update the Village Board with this evening. The first is that the restoration work for the 31st Street Water Main project is coming along quite nicely. If you have been out driving about, you'll see the new sidewalk segments, the new ADA sidewalk corners. It's looking very nice, so the work looks great. This was a substantial water main project that we did this year. Included in that work, you will notice the new stamped concrete sidewalk that is in front of the Plaza 31 or the 7-Eleven strip mall. That looks very well as well. The second item that I wanted to make mention of this evening is one of the big questions that we're getting at Village Hall is a question regarding Halloween trick-or-treating hours. We don't have all the details just yet with regard to trick-or-treating in the community. We have put up a carousel item on the village's website, and as information becomes available, we will include that up on the village's website. The village, along with several other neighboring communities, has reached out to the Illinois Municipal League for guidance from the state as to whether or not the IDPH will be issuing any guidance for trick-or-treating. We recognize the CDC issued some guidance today. We're waiting to see if there's additional guidance that will come out from the state, and from there, we'll put some guidance up on our website as well for Halloween this year. And with that, that concludes my report, unless if there's any questions, Mr. President.
Thank you, Julia. Any trustees have any questions for Julia?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
Julie, do you anticipate if we will have trick-or-treating? I mean, I know you haven't gotten any guidelines from the state yet, but anticipation that we may be able to entertain it.
Well, that's what we're working on. We're waiting to see, all of the health indicators out there. Typically, we as a village have not, taken a position on, Halloween. We've, assigned trick-or-treating hours for the holiday on a year-to-year basis. We are not a village that moves it to a different day. Some villages do that. They have designated days for trick-or-treating. Or our position typically is regarding the hours. We are waiting to see if there's going to be any prohibitions for trick-or-treating or warning signs that may guide us. And if we get that information from the state, we'll send it out to the residents. I don't know the answer to that, but certainly trick-or-treating is a favorite pastime around here, as it is in most communities. So that would be something that would be difficult to prohibit. So what we're looking for right now is the issuance of guidelines to keep the community as safe as possible, guidelines and recommendations, but yet still we're waiting for some kind of indication from the state of Illinois.
Is that okay, Trustee Messick? You good?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Julia. Okay, moving on to Administration Committee, Trustee Seidel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 2 items on this evening's administration report. Save the date. The village's annual community cleanup day will be held on Saturday, October 10th. The entire village will be collected on this day. Acceptable items must be placed on the curb by 6 a.m. Items other than furniture, large bulk items, and appliances must be placed in bags or boxes not larger than 35 gallons or heavier than 50 pounds each. Mattresses must be bagged. 5 stickers in total will ensure that all the acceptable items placed on the curb will be picked up. Electric items, yard waste, and hazardous materials will not be accepted. Items placed in your regular LRS refuse cart will not be collected. Due to COVID-19, the annual Haunted Trolley Trick or Treat event sponsored by the Grange Park Chamber of Commerce, the Community Park District, and the village have been canceled. In lieu of this event, the Community Park District and Grange Park Chamber are hosting a drive-through 01 Barnsdale Road. Residents are invited to decorate the trunks of their car and dress in costume. Prizes will be awarded for the best decorated car, and each vehicle will receive a goodie bag. Registration is required. Participation is limited to 50 vehicles, and the cost is $10 per car. For more information, visit the Park District website at www.communityparkdistrict.org. And that is all I have this evening. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Seidel. Jessica, would you care to respond on that at all? On the event?
Sure. Thank you, President DeCipio. The Park District worked pretty hard at trying to create a catalog of special events throughout the holiday season, starting with Halloween that we can do no matter what the COVID-19 response mandates are. So we've kind of kept all of the CDC and IDPH guidance in mind, and these are activities that even if theoretically we went on a full lockdown, we would still hopefully be able to execute with safety procedures in place.
Great. Thank you, Jessica. Okay, moving on to Building and Zoning Committee, Dora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to report the items for August of 2020. There were 104 building permits issued in August, which is the same number as last August. There have been 625 permits issued this year compared to 572 last year. Estimated construction costs for the month were $989,274, about 1/3 compared to the same period last year. Permit fees collected for the month were nearly $24,000, which was less than last year. 148 inspections were conducted in August compared to 152 last August. 10 were not approved. 798 inspections have been conducted, slightly less than the 827 last year. The building department staff worked early in the month to gather data for a new BS&A software converting to the new building permit inspection and code enforcement module. required data gathering and some design decisions, which is continuing with training and implementation through September. Final inspections for Strive for Fitness were completed. All final inspections were conducted and approved for Ogden Family Dental at 1018 East 31st. Staff met with homeowners in the 700 block of Homestead to further address flooding from the spring. Staff continued to work throughout the month on addressing potential code violations related to complaints received in relation to a playhouse accessory structure that was built on the 300 block of Spring. An occupancy inspection was conducted for a new barber who plans to open in 1901 East 31st. The Homestead Apartments received several permits. They're replacing 200 feet of sewer piping and sidewalks and landings that are deteriorating at 5 of their buildings. Staff once again made a site visit and met with residents at the home of 600 North Ashland, which has a long history of exterior storage and accumulation issues. Staff will be working towards additional compliance with exterior property maintenance issues. Although requests for reimbursement exceed available funding, the village continued to receive additional applications in August for the program. And that is my August report. I have one item for discussion and action, which was discussed at the work session earlier this month. On August 26, 2020, the Planning and Zoning Commission conducted a public hearing to consider zoning application number 2020-02 filed by Michael Engel for Murphy's Transmission and Complete Auto Repair located at 1117 East 31st Street. A total of 3 applications were filed requesting the following: 1, application for a special use permit for motor vehicle service repair; 2, application for site plan review; 3, application for a variation. The Planning and Zoning Commission accepted testimony and evidence upon record. Upon conclusion of the testimony and discussion, the Planning and Zoning Commission determined that the following with regard to each application. 1, regarding the request for special use for motor vehicle service and repair, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted 6-0, recommending approval for the permit. Regarding the application for variations, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted 6-0 to recommend the following variations. A, from section 153.218 to reduce the required loading berth length from 30 feet to 25 feet. B, section 153.218 to reduce the minimum required distance from an unenclosed loading berth to a residential property line from 50 feet to 18 feet. C, section 153.211 to allow for off-street parking in the front yard setback in the C1 zoning district. D, section 153.238 to reduce the minimum required width of perimeter parking lot island from 10 feet to 3 feet. E, from section 153.239 to reduce the required number of interior parking lot islands from 6 to 1. 3, regarding the site plan review, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted 6-0 to approve the site plan request subject to the following conditions. A, in accordance with 153.242 of the zoning code, the village president and board of trustees find that screening of the loading berth is unnecessary. B, that a special use permit for motor vehicle service and repair minor is approved by the village president and board of trustees. And the variations from sections 153.218, 150B, 4, 153.211B2, 153.238B, and 153.239A are approved by the village president and board of trustees. So, as I stated, the Planning and Zoning Commission had a unanimous vote to approve everything. So I would like to make a motion to approve an ordinance granting a special use permit for motor vehicle service and repair minor and certain variations for 1117 East 31st Street, Murphy's Transmission and Complete Auto Repair case 2020-02.
Second.
So motion and second discussion. Trustee George, you want to say any more about it?
I just want to say that we discussed this last month from the planning and zoning conversations. They exceeded landscape expectations, and this was a project that was intended to be done several years ago, but due to conditions of, I think, 2008, they couldn't complete the project, so that's why they're back up for this now, and I have no issues with approving this. That's all.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Trustee Messick?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, as I've said many times, the zoning issues, if they meet the required criteria and the hardship, I am all for it, and I believe they have met this. Mr. Engel and Murphy's is a valuable member of our community. They provide valuable service. And I did sit in a zoning meeting too, and the residents surrounding are okay with it, and I believe they've made a good case for it, so I support them.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with what Trustees Messick and Zora said. Thank Mr. Engel for wanting to expand his business in our community, and I'm sure it'll look great. I support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Trustee Casera?
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I concur with our other trustees. This is a situation where we are, looking at some zoning variations to invest in and improve our community, and the other, the neighboring homeowners, they're in complete accordance, and they don't see any hardship, so I am in complete agreement. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes, I am in full support.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Mike, congratulations. Thank you not only for investing in your business, but for investing in our community. We're here for you. We're here to help you, and anything we can do to make this transition better, let us know. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody's kind words. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, moving on to engineering and capital projects. Trustee Casera.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two items to support tonight for the capital project summary report for August 2020. First item, construction of the 31st Street Water Main project is continuing. The contractor, a landscape contractors, finished installing the water main along 31st Street and the side streets. All the water surfaces have been transferred to the new water main, and the old water system has been abandoned. Restoration has started to replace the disturbed curbs, sidewalks, driveways, and pavement. The street will get permanent patches where it was excavated to install the water main. Work is expected to be completed this fall. Design engineering has continued for Meadowcrest Road and Garfield Avenue resurfacing project. A bid opening will be held on September 9th. The limits of the project are Meadowcrest Road between 31st Street and Jackson Avenue, and the Garfield Road between the Grange Road and Community Drive. The scope of the work includes the replacement of the defective curb and gutter, driveways, and sidewalks. The street will then be milled and resurfaced. The project will then be completed by the end of the construction season. That is my report for this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. Public safety in the absence of Trustee Laudner. Trustee Zora, would you give his report, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. The total number of crimes this year are slightly higher than last year, with 221 reported this year compared to 209 last year. Traffic enforcement is at 1,795 total tickets issued through August of 2020. And working with municipal collection services, the village has seen an increased amount of revenue in the collection of unpaid parking and compliance violations. Overall, police activity is slightly lower to last year, with about 4,900 incidents reported through August of 2020 compared to about 5,800 total incidents of August 2019. The Adopta Cop program for the Grange Park schools, grades K through 6, will temporarily be on hold due to COVID-19. Staff will be working on scheduling lockdown drills at all the Grange Park schools. A 2021 Ford Utility Interceptor was ordered through Curry Motors of Frankfort, Illinois on Saturday, October 24th. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the lobby of the Grange Park Village Hall, the police department, in coordination with the DEA, will be hosting a drug take-back event. Residents can discard expired prescriptions or over-the-counter medication by placing pills into a baggie and disposing of them into an appropriate container located in the lobby of Village Hall. Reminder, no needle, pill, bottles, or liquids will be accepted. A friendly reminder about securing one's personal property at all times. Please lock your vehicles and residences, especially during overnight hours. If you're going on vacation, please utilize the new online Vacation Watch portal frontlinepss.com/the Grange Park, or log onto the village website and access the portal under the police department page. If you do not have internet access, feel free to fill out a vacation watch card at the police department between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. And that is all for the police department. For the fire department, EMS incidents this month were 110. There have been 1,038 year-to-date compared to 1,016 in 2019. Fire rescue incidents this month of 57. There have been 343 year-to-date compared to 383 in 2019. The final occupancy inspection was completed for the new Strive for Fitness. Various online informational updates and training seminars took place throughout the month regarding COVID-19 and relief funding programs. Ambulance 1215, which was purchased in 2010, was taken out of service for approximately 2 weeks due to various repairs to the braking and emissions costing about $8,000. Underwriters Laboratory conducted annual certification testing of our ladder truck and biannual certification tests of all department ground ladders during the month. 6 of our probationary personnel began attending EMT training at the College of Prestige. Interviews were conducted of applicants for the position of captain. As such, 3 lieutenants were officially promoted to captain on Tuesday, September 1st. They're John Esnika, Jim Gruska, and Steve Hillis. Congratulations to all of them. They'll be sworn in and recognized at an upcoming village board meeting. During the month, the Foreign Fire Insurance Board approved $2,300 in expenditures for new flooring material at the Village Hall workout room. And that is all I have to report from the fire department.
Thank you, Trustee Zora.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Village Brush Program continued the first full week of August, with crews making multiple passes throughout town, collecting all brush piles put out by residents. Due to a severe storm occurring on August 10th, a special brush pickup was conducted to pick up that debris. The annual Arbor Day ceremony took place on August 14th with the planting of a ginkgo tree in honor of former trustee Jack Ryder. Many friends, family, and village employees attended, making the event quite memorable. Public Works repaired 4 water main breaks this month and made repairs to 3 service lines, replacing lead pipe with copper. DPD's pretty much finished up with their concrete survey, including sidewalk trip hazards and repairs due to excavations. Concrete work should be done as I speak. Staff has started survey work for our street patching program by marking out sections of streets, utilizing the pavement management report. Water meters were read in Section 2. 15 monthly bacterial samples were taken. Various water meter and sewer work orders were completed, along with residents' tree concerns and general construction inquiries. Numerous water and sewer service calls were completed, along with meter appointments and Julie locates. A number of street repairs were made, and permanent patching continued throughout the fall. Routine maintenance, department fleet, and equipment was performed as well on police and fire vehicles. Next, Mr. President, 2020 Fall Tree Planting Program, purchase of Parkway trees from St. Aubin Nursery. Established in 1913, St. Aubin Nursery is a wholesale plant grower located in Zone 4 in north central Illinois. St. Aubin specializes in native trees, shrubs, and evergreens, and provides the service of delivering and planting of these trees. St. Aubin has continued to provide quality trees to the village, including the last 3 planting cycles. Public Works continues to update planting locations and species to determine the best suitable tree for a particular space. Currently, 13 species of trees are identified to plant in our parkways, which provides a variation to diversify our urban forest. Planting of the selected trees will take place sometime in October this year. Resident participation for this round of planting is overwhelming, exceeding 40 requests. Homeowners' purchases will be reimbursed back to the village. Funds for this program are budgeted in fiscal year 2020-2021 MFT. Due to restrictions on the motor fuel tax funds, they cannot be utilized for tree planting, only general maintenance, trimming, or removal. Tree planting will come out of the general fund, and tree removals will be charged to the MFT. Staff recommends approval of a not-to-exceed amount of $26,000 to St. Albans Nursery and Landscape for the purchase and planting of trees for the 2020 fall planting program at tonight's meeting. Therefore, Mr. President, I make a motion to approve and authorize the purchase and planting of parkway trees in a not-to-exceed amount of $26,000 from St. Albans Nursery and Landscape.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, discussion, trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great idea. I totally support it. We've lost quite a few trees, and we have a lot of making up to do. Looks like there's interest from the residents. That's always a good thing. If Director Raddy's on, I would have a question. I know in years past we've done the planting in-house. Is that something that was visited? And the reason being that we wouldn't do that is, are we pretty tied up with other things right now, or why have we done it in the past, and why aren't we going to do it this time? Thank you.
The last three planting cycles, we've actually had St. Albans actually plant the trees. With the pricing that they're giving us, it's almost a no-brainer not to have them do it. They're planting a tree in about 15, 20 minutes. Takes a lot less time. They're delivering the trees as well, so it just makes sense to have them do it. Costs, a little bit of a cost, but it also allows us to continue doing priority work that needs to be done at the end of this season with street patching and water work as well.
Okay. Thank you, Director Raddy. I always like to try and keep things in-house, so thank you for explanation.
Thank you, trustee Sheehan. Trustee Messick?
More trees are good, so I'm in full support of this. As I said, it's in the budget, and there's an economy there of scale and having them do it. So full support.
Thank you, trustee Messick. Trustee Casero? Okay, trustee Zora?
I'm in support of this.
And trustee Seidel?
I'm in support as well.
Thank you, trustee Seidel. Trustee Casero, are you still on?
I am, Mr. President. I'm sorry I was on mute due to my favorite pet. Very seriously, our community has become known for its green, particularly through our green programs that have been well through the community and actually nationally for their work. Green is good, and I'm totally in support. And I would love to see our revitalization committees continuing to make us proud. Thank you, Mr. President.
Great. Thank you, trustee Casero. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Continue on, trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next is the 2020 Road Bond Paving Contractor Award. Staff is seeking the board's approval to award a contract with Schroeder Asphalt Services to complete the 2020 paving program in the amount of $228,042.90. The village received 10 bids for this project, with a tight variance between the low and the high bidder being only $34,439. The engineer estimate for this project is $263,010. Identified roads for paving during this project include the 9 and 1000 block of Meadowcrest from Garfield from the Grange Road to Community. Work includes spot curb replacement to achieve positive flow of stormwater, spot patching of deteriorated subbase, and grind and resurface the roadway. Continuing with past construction procedures, if curb replacement takes place at a driveway apron, the village will replace half the apron and seek participation from the homeowner for the in the road bond fund, construction and maintenance services, 70-44-340 for this project. Staff recommends entering it into a contract with Schroeder Asphalt Services for the 2020 paving program. Village staff recommends discussion and action tonight to expedite the project start date. Therefore, Mr. President, make a motion to accept the bid proposal from Schroeder Asphalt Services in the amount of $228,042.90, and two, to authorize the village manager to execute the contract document.
The motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. I support this. That roadway, those two roadways definitely needed. I support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Trustee Seidel?
I support it as well. All these improvements are great.
Thank you, Trustee Seidel. Trustee Zora?
I'm in full support. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Trustee Casera?
Complete support, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. Trustee Messick?
I concur with my fellow trustees, ready to move ahead with this service for the residents.
Great. Thank you, Trustee Messick. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Mark, did you have any comments you may want to make?
Thank you, Mr. President. We got a lot of bids on the project. They're a qualified contractor, good price. So I'm looking forward to getting this project complete.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Okay, continue on, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next is electric supply bids, water plant, lighting, and additional accounts. The purpose is to seek village board approval for an electricity supply bid for the water plant pumping station and 4 other accounts that the village of LaGrange Park has. Back in January 2007, ComEd eliminated subsidized fixed rate electricity service for non-franchised municipal accounts. To bring a cost-effective electricity supply alternative to municipalities in Northern Illinois, the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus and Energy Choices, now Satori Energy, joined forces to create the Metropolitan Energy Collaborative. Collaborative sought supply from a multitude of pre-qualified suppliers to secure lower-priced electricity to municipalities. The Metropolitan Energy Collaborative provides cost-effective electrical supply to municipalities for pumping and street lighting accounts. Since 2007, the village has utilized these services through the collaborative to purchase electricity from alternate energy suppliers for its largest account, the water plant pumping station. Satori Energy also conducted a full review of all accounts this year and recommended purchasing power for a lighting account plus 4 additional village accounts. The savings on these accounts over the ComEd rate is between 18 and 24%. Presently, the village's electricity for the water pumping station is supplied by Constellation Energy. The supply is backed by 100% renewable energy certificates, known as RECs. The 3-year supply contract expires in December 2020. Satori Energy solicited preliminary bids on the village's behalf for the 2- and 3-year supply contract. This memorandum includes an attachment from Satori Energy, which consists of a table reflecting the prices bid by several energy suppliers on September 9, 2020. AEP Energy submitted the low price for each contract year. Energy suppliers will not hold their prices for more than 24 hours. Accordingly, it will be necessary to solicit bids once again. Immediately before tonight's meeting, we were provided earlier the document showing the costs and savings. The village board may elect to choose the lower bidder with an option for renewable energy certificates, RECs, Selecting this option will add an annual cost where the amount is dependent on the term of the contract. Without the REC option, about 10% of the supply comes from green energy resources. The village attorney reviewed and approved the contract documents with AEP before tonight's meeting. Staff's recommendation is consistent with past practice in anticipating savings. Staff recommends, in consultation with Satori Energy, approving a 3-year contract with 100% renewable energy options. Satori Energy first screens suppliers and only seeks bids from qualified vendors. They also screen contracts in advance and require language changes if they have a negative impact on their clients. Satori Energy assumes that members of the collaborative assures members of the collaborative that they wouldn't recommend anyone that they believe to be unreliable. In addition, the Illinois Commerce Commission bonds all suppliers. Director Ratty discussed this at the last Sustainability Committee meeting, and the commissioners all approved supporting a 100% green option, excluding nuclear power. Therefore, Mr. President, make a motion to authorize village manager to execute a contract with AEP Energy for energy supply for the village's water plant, lighting accounts, and 4 additional accounts for a 3-year contract backed by 100% in renewable energy certificates.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Before we start discussing, Trustee Sheehan, we have Molly Vanderleen on with us, our consultant. Molly, did you have anything you'd like to express to the board? And welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a very thorough summary. So I don't have a whole lot to add. We previously had only been serving the water pumping account under another supplier besides ComEd. But this time around, working with Rick, we did a full review of all village accounts upon which you pay. You don't pay for power at all sites, like the police station, fire station, library, things like that you don't pay for. But at all accounts we've reviewed, and so we were able to add a few more that also shows significant savings over ComEd. So it's status quo plus a few more.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you for being on tonight. Rick, did you have anything you'd care to add?
I just want to thank Molly for her time, and then ultimately the new proposals that you received today actually saw a slight decrease as well. Not much, but a slight. But again, we added a few accounts, which I appreciate Molly's looking into that. We're going to get some additional savings as well. And we're using some green power. I mean, just over, what are we looking at? 21, roughly like $23,000 savings over the next 3 years, which is outstanding.
Oh, that's tremendous. Thank you, Rick. Okay, Trustee Sheehan, discussion?
Yeah, I don't know what else I can add to this other than I support this, and it's great working with the Sustainability Commission and this village's commitment to being as green as we can be. So that's it.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Trustee Messick?
Thank you, Mr. President. I too support it. I appreciate it meets with the values of the community, with the green energy, renewable energy certificates, and I'm always for saving money. I have to thank Molly and Rick, and staff for, again, always looking out for us and helping us with our budget. So, thanks.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. Trustee Casera?
Thank you, Mr. President. I've always said green is good. We have a great Sustainability Commission, and if we can have more green energy and have our customers and our residents or businesses have more green in their pocket, I don't want to be corny, but it's all good. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. Trustee Zora?
I'm in support. Everybody said everything that I would say, so thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Trustee Seidel?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm in support as well.
Okay, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you again, Molly, for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks.
Trustee Sheehan, continue on.
Purpose of the land acquisition services for the water main project to approve an agreement with Santa Cruz Land Acquisitions to perform necessary work, obtaining permanent and temporary easements for installation of the new water main, which includes residential and commercial properties. For the last several years, Hancock Engineering has been working on the design placement of a new water main along the Grange Road and 31st Street corridor. Staff believes the services of an outside company focused on land acquisition negotiations would progress the already delayed water main project. Santa Cruz is a well-qualified firm that specializes in this type of work. As part of their proposal, Santa Cruz will obtain land appraisals for 7 residential and 2 commercial parcels. After the appraisals process, Santa Cruz will negotiate on the village's behalf with each parcel owner for permanent and temporary easements. Santa Cruz coordinates a work process with staff and the village attorney and leads negotiations with property owners. Staff recommends approving the agreement with the village and Santa Cruz Land Acquisition tonight's meeting. Therefore, Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve a president's professional agreement with Santa Cruz Land Acquisitions for temporary and permanent land acquisitions in an amount not to exceed $26,800, and to authorize the village manager to execute required documents.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago at our work session. We need to bring them in now so we can get that final piece of the water main tied in next year and have everything planned out. So I support this.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Trustee Seidel? Trustee Seidel, are you there?
I'm sorry, I couldn't get you off mute. I'm in support as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Seidel. Trustee Zora?
I'm in support. We already discussed this, so I'm in support.
Zora, Trustee Casaro?
Concurrent, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Messick.
I'm in full support as discussed. It's nice to get some help moving this long over. Moving forward.
Trustee Messick. Okay, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan? Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Okay, moving on. Finance Committee, Trustee Messick.
Thank you, Mr. President. The monthly report for August of 2020. Fiscal year to date, general fund revenue is at 37.8% of the annual budget and about $288,000 or 8% lower than the prior year. Primary reasons for the decrease are postponement of sticker sales and lower property tax receipts due to the coronavirus. Property tax receipts are down $89,126 or 5.4% compared to the prior year. Cook County has postponed late fees through October 1st due to the coronavirus. Therefore, receipts will likely be comparatively lower until the fall. Other local taxes are higher by about $22,000 or 4.8%, due primarily to sales tax, which is up 17.6% compared to the prior year. Telecommunication tax is down 24.8%. License revenue is down nearly $247,000 or 96% because vehicle and dog license sales were postponed due to the coronavirus. Permit receipts are up 7.4% or over $7,400 compared to the prior year. Intergovernmental receipts are down about $3,500 or 0.5% compared to last year. Income tax receipts are down about 6%, but they have been offset by a 22.6% increase in state use tax. Charges for services are up about $5,100 or 4.1%, due in part to increased ambulance fee collections compared to last year. Fine revenue is approximately $13,700 or 25.8% higher than the prior year. Fines were increased in October of last year. Total general fund expenditures are at 32.8% of the annual budget and about $195,000 or 6.2% below last year. All departments are within budget expectations. And that concludes the finance report, and I have no action items.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. Larry, did you have anything to add?
No, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Liz. Okay, moving on to other reports. Village Clerk, Megan?
No report, Mr. President.
Our Village Treasurer, Larry?
No report tonight, Mr. President.
Village Engineer, Mark?
No report, Mr. President.
Our Village Attorney, Kathy?
No report, Mr. President.
And Commercial Revitalization Committee, Trustee Casera?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have three items to report on this evening. The first item, on September 18th, the Village and Grange Park Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon cutting for Strive for 4 Fitness, located at 712 East 31st Street in Plaza 31. The Village invites you to visit Strive for Fitness online at www.striveforfitness, or better yet, stop by and check out the newest location in LaGrange Park. Second item, landscaping plan for the North Beach parking lot is currently under review by staff. The landscaping is anticipated to be completed this fall. Final item, both interior and exterior improvements at Plaza 31 continue. Staff anticipates the property owner will submit an application for site plan review this month in order to facilitate the reconstruction of the existing parking lot, various landscape and signage improvements. That concludes my report, Mr. President. If I can make one or two comments. I am so proud of our residents and most importantly our business community for opening a number of new businesses in our community when people said they couldn't because of COVID-19. I'd like to really thank Assistant Village Manager Emily Rodman and rest of staff, for the work they've done to do this. I know we've always talked about 31st Street. We've talked about Postal 31 and that part of 31st and Plaza 31. I have a number of great friends that lived in town and moved out of town but still come to visit their parents and other residents. And I love getting the pictures and the positive comments of what our businesses in this village has been doing. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. So nice to hear. I will say that Julie and I went last week. We went into Strive for Fitness and brought a plan and introduced ourselves. And we also happened to stop in at Eno's where they were working. And I got to tell you, one of our trustees, Trustee Zora's fingerprint or thumbprint is on that particular store as it was on Posto. It's absolutely beautiful inside there, Trustee Zora. You did a phenomenal job, and we can't wait for it to open up and get some tacos. So thank you.
Me too. Thank you.
Mr. President, I used to work down the street from Eno's in Oak Park, and I think it's going to be a great improvement, not improvement, but piece to our community. And like I said, our residents, how they supported our businesses how they supported our residents. That makes me, and I hope everybody else proud in this community to be part of this community. So thank you all for all your hard work and support.
Well, again, Trustee Casera, to you and your committee for all your hard work in bringing us to where we're at. And I think
the residents and business, Mr. President, the residents and businesses. Thank you.
And I think I've never seen the anticipation of a business coming into our community like I have Eno's. My wife doesn't think.
Rosati's is doing tremendous, and when I talk to people where I work in other communities, and I say we've opened up 9 new businesses, including 2 or 3 new restaurants, they're amazed.
Baby, I'm amazed. We're all amazed, right? Okay. Thank you, Trustee Casera. We'll move on to, we gotta take a roll call, that's right. Okay. Megan, take a roll call on, motion to approve committee and collectors reports as presented. Megan?
Yep, I'm here. Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Moving on, my report, I have two items. First item, tomorrow, Julie and I are meeting with President Kukler of LaGrange and Andre Peterson, the village manager of LaGrange, to sit down with them and just discuss what's happening in both villages, how we can maybe cooperate and do some things together again. So looking forward to that. And then I have one proclamation. Chief Magus, this is for you and your department, our Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the Village of LaGrange Park is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting LaGrange Park. Whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk for fire. Whereas home fires killed more than 2,630 people in the United States in 2017, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 357,000 home fires. Whereas cooking is the leading cause, Trustee Casera, listen to this one. Whereas cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the United States, and 2 of every home fires start in the kitchen, with 31% of those fires resulting from unattended cooking. Whereas best practices are to stay in the kitchen, when frying food on the stovetop, keep a 3-foot kids-free zone around cooking areas, and keep anything that can catch fire away from stovetops. Whereas residents are urged to have a plan and practice home fire escape plan and working smoke alarms, all of which directly increase the chances of surviving a fire. Whereas the Village of LaGrange Park's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention, protection, and education. And whereas 2020 Fire Prevention Week's theme, Serve Up Fire Safety in the Kitchen, effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and to use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of kitchen fires. Therefore, be it proclaimed as Village of LaGrange Park, October 4th to the 10th, 2020, as Fire Prevention Week throughout our town, and encourage our residents to check their kitchens for fire hazards, use safe cooking practices, and to support the public safety activities and efforts of the Village of LaGrange Park's Fire and Emergency Services. And I would also like to state that on behalf of the board, Chief, we have the best fire department and staff anywhere, and we appreciate all that you guys do for us, and please pass that along.
Thank you very much. I will.
Okay, any public participation of non-agenda related items only? Anyone care to speak to the board?
I would like to, if that's okay. Can you hear me?
Mr. Vitale, go ahead.
Jeremy Vitale, 1143 Robin Hood Lane. I just wanted to get back to you, President DeCipio, as we had discussed earlier, months beforehand, and Julia as well, about the Lions Club. We have our Candy Day, our annual Candy Day coming up, which is October 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we put it to a vote to our board, and to those members who do feel comfortable, in addition to go out there still on the streets or at the Jewel and some of the intersections and in the village of Brookfield as well, that do feel comfortable to abide by the guidelines set by Lions Club International in coordination with the CDC for COVID, and that we will be having members going out there on that weekend. And I just wanted to get back to both of you in the village to let you know. And we feel that if people don't want it, we are definitely respecting the distance. We will be wearing masks. Instead of shoving the money in this little slot, they'll be open, so it's easier to put the money in and less transmission going back and forth. And you know, if we're at a location like the Jewel, to be on a table and the candy would be separate, and we would set it all up at that way. So I just wanted to let the village know that the Brookfield LaGrange Park Lions Club did put it to a vote, and some members still want to go out, because that is kind of what we're here for, is to help people in need. Help us, help others. That's the motto of our Lions Club. And we will respect anybody's wishes on distance and all that. So I just wanted to let the village know.
Great, thank you, Jeremy. And thank you for the Lions Club, all that they do. Anyone else care to address the board that's on the call? Any new business from the trustees? Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Somebody wants to leave?
Second.
Okay. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Kucera? Trustee Kucera?
Here you are.
Yes, no, I'm here. Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Cookie.
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Sorry.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. And once again, I want to thank all the callers residents that are on with us tonight. Thank you for joining us. And to everyone else, trustees, staff, have a great week, and thank you for all that you do for our village.
You too, Jim.
Thanks. You too.
Have a good night.
Good night.